Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a Real Crypto Extreme stream. What's up, guys? Kevin, Harbo, Jersey, Go, Nick, Aviad. What's up, Aviad? Hey, Paul, Alexander, the man with two first names. As a matter of fact, the same two first names. So, Trevor, Eduardo. What up, Eduardo? BitMEX is cancer. It can be. Absolutely can be. I'm doing pretty good, Aviad. Just enjoying the Bitcoin choppy market. Which means really haven't been trading. Unfortunately, I was out when this pop happened. I was out riding bikes with my kids. I should say I was walking while they're riding bikes. I just saw something pop up on the Slack chat room that said, Real Crypto Extreme Stream. I'm like, what the hell happened? And I saw that it popped up. After some pretty nice curling action most of the way through the day today, ending up in some very light volume. I really wasn't trading the last half of the day, and just kind of missed out. You know, I don't spend my life sitting here looking at charts 24/7, so unfortunately sometimes I miss out on these pops, but congrats to you that did catch it, if you guys caught it, and that's awesome. All right, let's see what's going on here. What's up, Marco? Heard some things about BitMEX being down when the pump happened. Any thoughts? Yeah, so as much as BitMEX likes to tout their technology, and it seems to be pretty good, they're not set up for spikes like that. They, for whatever reason, their infrastructure, if you guys notice, any time they have a huge pump, they always freeze. It doesn't even have to be that huge. It could just be, any kind of these larger spikes. They tend to freeze. Even some of the smaller spikes, they can tend to freeze right towards the tops. When a bunch of orders come in, they can freeze. So, I mean, who am I to say, but I don't feel their tech's like exceptional. That's just a feeling I get. Like, I know it works. I don't hear too many problems from too many people about, hey, this happened with BitMEX and stealing my money and stuff like that. We don't hear that too often, if ever. I've never heard that, as a matter of fact, but tech is tech, and everything has its weakness. And BitMEX just happens to be its job. Its weakness is what it's supposed to do. So there you go. Thank your wife and my name for letting you stream. Yeah, right, Go. Yeah, no. She's reading with the kids right now, so I'm able to be here with you guys. Here since I predicted the 11,000 drop live. Yeah, you like that video, Alexander? That was a pretty good one. That was a fun video. You caught it, Paul? Nice, buddy. Good job. Love it when people catch those, especially members. That's awesome. Nick's the first like. Well, everyone's got to hit that like button, guys. You guys remember YouTube lives off of likes, and if you don't hit the like button, an angel will lose its wings. Sorry, just the way it is. It's just the way that it is, ladies and gentlemen. So smash that like button, share with your best friend, your enemy, your mother, your cousin, your sister, your dog from next door. Please go ahead and do that. I'd appreciate that. Subscribe if you haven't, but most of them, I'm sure you have. Kevin says, missed the power hour last few days. I'm sure I didn't miss much. Really a lot of choppy action, Kevin. We were really keeping a close eye on VET, Nano, and Ontology, three of the biggest winners from this last altcoin run. So we've been really keeping a close eye on that, maintaining that power hour spreadsheet. So if you want to pull up the spreadsheet, you can kind of get the latest in what are decent looking charts in the market. So what do I do when I miss a move? Well, lately, Aviad, not a whole lot, because most of these moves pull back. As a matter of fact, I just drew a channel line, which literally just happened to line up perfectly. If you notice, I had this one, I just cloned it and moved it up, and it lines up perfectly between those two. And if you remember a long time ago, probably August 7th, so a couple of weeks ago, talked about the bear flag needing to set up here before we broke the 5,800 level. Well, there's a possibility that this could be that bear flag. Could be the bear flag. As a matter of fact, if you remember, we've been kind of likening this flag with this one over here. We did get a pop up in this one over here. right about there. There's kind of the level. And you can see we kind of got a pop-up, not nearly as aggressive. I'm not necessarily attributing that specific pop to any of these specific pops, but definitely can still. This doesn't have to throw us bullish, can it? Yes, it can, but I don't know if it will. Short squeeze, I think absolutely Jay Garcia. I think this probably is a short squeeze. As a matter of fact, if you go over here to the longs and shorts, we were looking at it during the power hour earlier, and the shorts were all-time highs, and you can see right there we've come down, looks like about 10% in shorts from 40,000 to 36,000. A little less than 10%. Oh, Kevin Lewis with a super chat. Almost forgot what it's called. Don't do a lot of live streams. Will Bitcoin go up now due to all the shorts covering? So that's kind of what we're talking a little bit now. It could. I mean, it definitely could rally from here. The shorts were way too heavy up here. We were talking about this too this morning, and I didn't quite understand what the shorts were doing. I didn't see the reason for them to get so aggressive in the shorting posture here, because we didn't break down. I mean, I can see right here if shorts try to pile in, but since then they were shorting all the way up through this. I don't know why you would try to press the price down in this type of an environment, but they were trying, and they obviously failed. And then you see what happened there, the subsequent pop, when shorts were at that 40,000 level. So yeah, I do think a lot of it is short squeezing. I haven't looked at BitMEX Rect. I just wanted to get on here and do a live stream talk with you guys. But yeah, I don't know yet. Did 100x entry last few seconds of them going down? Love it. No, Kevin, this was simply a correction in my opinion. All right, what's up, Cool Frost? How you doing, buddy? First second BitMEX worked liquidation of 10 million appears. So you guys know why you have these big up thrusts, right? With the short liquidation. So the liquidation is a forced buying, and it happens very fast. They don't like wait for good fills. They just buy. And then whenever that buying stops, that's when you see these tops. And that's why these things have these big candles and then they stop, because it's just liquidations. It's just liquidations. There's no organic buying in there. There's going to be a little bit of buy stops triggered, things of that nature. But at least the first pump of it is all liquidations. And it works via the order book, right? So it's just going to keep going up and up through that order book until it stops. Nice, Eli. Good job there. 63 to 92. That's fantastic. Hey, what's up, R. Pete? Do you have a price target in mind? I don't. We've been talking about a possibility of an upthrust in the $7,000 to $7,200 range, putting us in target with that. Here it is. Here's the trend line, as a matter of fact, right there, 72.45. Bitcoin's retraced, and each time it's retraced, it has done so in 15% less of a rise. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys. Don't know if it makes a lot of sense to me. But all these prior highs that Bitcoin has, this is 15% lower than this one. This is 15% lower than this one, and so on and so forth. And this would be the fourth peak, or I guess the third peak. The third move down on this ladder. And so if it stops there at that 72.50, then that would pretty much be be normal. Anything below there is normal. Anything above there, I think, could be looking at a potential bottoming scenario. ONT looks really good, AV. Let's check it out. I haven't looked at it. Just got home a little bit ago. We got ONT at the bottom up 6%, Nano up 7%, VET up 4%. Actually, this morning in the power hour, we were talking about buying ONT down here at the bottom of this trend line. We were looking at it right there at about 9 o'clock. Actually, looks like it was right there at 9 o'clock. And I don't know if anyone partook in that. But right there, up about 10% off of that right now. Up as much as 16% towards the top of the trend. And look, notice right where it stopped, guys. These trend lines are not accidents. If anyone thinks they are, not sure how you found my channel. Placed a buy order at 66.40. Watch it run up to 78.35. It had a stop loss. I'll have to, let me check that out, Pete. Buy order at 66.40. Okay, so you had one up here above the, yeah, above the highs. That was kind of the entry point right there. Watch it run up to 78. You mean 68.35? I think you mean 68. And it had a stop loss of 67.90. I'm a little confused there, Pete. Those numbers don't add up. 78.35, nothing went to 78. Okay, so I'm assuming this means 68.35. Put a stop loss of 67.90. Yeah, definitely being too tight. This wouldn't be. So if you entered here, 66.40. So you entered there. Your stop loss should not be above here. This would be a profit-taking order. It would not necessarily be a stop loss. And then it had 68.35. Stop loss at 67.90. That's very, very tight. Yeah, that's way too tight, yeah. You know, give or take that as a stop loss as it goes up. So that's a profit-taking maneuver, which is fine if that's what you wanted to do with a new buy order at 68.60. So I'm not sure if you're trying to play for the small moves there, Pete, but I think we need to have a talk tomorrow during the power hour probably about what you're exactly trying to do so we can try to figure out how you can better manage that. Because I feel like you still want to be in the position. I'm just a little bit confused about exactly what you want. So we'll have a lot more time tomorrow during the power hour and we can go over that. Unless you want to do something tonight. I mean, if you're really, we can spend time on it today if you want. Aviat asks, when is the power hour from now? So it's about 12 and a half hours from now. 12 and a half hours from now. And if you want to pay with Bitcoin, go ahead and email me and we can get that going. Randy@real-crypto.com. Good time to show you guys my website. I'm sure most of you guys know about it already, but for those of you that don't, you can check out my website. My email address is way down here. There you go, Aviat at the bottom of my website if you're interested in emailing me there. And you can sign up over here on services and Real Crypto Power Hour right there, ladies and gentlemen. So Power Hour is 7 days a week. Everything is recorded, so you have access to it. Everything going back to March. We've been doing this about 5 months now. And yeah, every episode is recorded, so you guys can go back and view things, certain dates, and kind of see what I had to say. Yeah, that's about it. We're live for usually an hour and a half. It's the power hour, but it ends up being about an hour and a half. I'm not super strict on the hour. I don't think there's a need to be. And it's a good time. The Gonza Poker got 10K to invest. Not sure if I should invest just yet. Been looking at ICX, but not sure if I should, especially since it's an altcoin. Yeah, so Gonzo, if you're a newer investor, if you're new to investing generally and don't have any stock market trading experience or anything like that, I would definitely start with just learning about cryptocurrencies, learning the ecosystem that is cryptocurrency and, you know, Bitcoin, altcoins, how they relate to each other, what a crap coin is, because some people consider ICX a crap coin. I wouldn't drop 10K in one specific coin, especially in this market environment. Just as an example, you know, here is the daily chart of Bitcoin. We came up tremendous amount. We've come down a tremendous amount. And we have yet to confirm us back into a bullish trend. So I wouldn't be putting large amounts of capital at work right now, especially if you're a newer investor. If you're looking to trade, that's a little bit of a different story. You can kind of be guided through these rigmaroles of the markets, if you will, but there's always inherent risk involved. Keep that in mind. Never invest with money you need to live on. Always make sure that your retirement accounts are good, your debts are paid off, you don't have any like credit cards or car loans, Because really the key true to wealth isn't trading, although trading can make you some money. And if you're really good at it, it can be a true key to wealth. But really being out of debt is the main key to being wealthy. Just to be quite frank with you, that's just real talk right there. So I would really stick with education first, and getting knowledgeable on the markets, how to trade, seeing what your style is, because you don't want to throw money in the markets and then start playing. You want to. This is a business, poker, and you want to treat it as such. VET. Sam says, look at VET. Let's take a look at VET. So we've been talking about VET in the power hour, some of these, and this is the trend line we had this morning. Broke the trend line, moving into new highs. Beautiful cup with handle in VET, and we've been following this pretty closely. Broke up on really good volume just after the power hour, as a matter of fact. Sorry, guys, water break. And I actually did take a position in VET. This was one of the one holding up the best. The chart pattern was the best out of the bunch, in my opinion. Nano's chart pattern, okay, it did run. Good, I was looking at it right about here before it broke that trend line. It looks like it did get going. I did not buy Nano, but I was really thinking about it. Great volume on Nano. This is fantastic. So this is still well within a buy range. Actually only up about 3%. This is an early entry point, ladies and gentlemen. This would be your technical buy point. And so it is definitely still within a buy zone. So if you did want to get involved in a coin, Nano's looking pretty good. Look at the volume there. It's really nice. Even the volume on VET is very good. Did start a little bit earlier, so the volume's slightly heavier, but Nano looking great. ONT is the other one that we've been keeping an eye on. Like I said earlier, we mentioned a possible defensive buy down here. Low risk entry down low towards the trend line. It respected it, and us curling up here today with a pretty good percentage gain. Let's check out some of these other coins here. Let's kind of breeze through the top 20 real quick. Let's check out Ethereum. So there's a bit of a trend line here in Ethereum that looks like it broke. Now Ethereum also has a head and shoulders. It broke the head and shoulders pattern here, and subsequently pulling back into the pattern, which is more bullish than bearish actually. So a little bit of a surprise there. Ethereum was looking pretty weak. Very weak, especially after this big red candle. Had a throwback into the neckline that failed. And then during the power hour, we were sitting down here, so had no major reason to expect it to reverse, but it did reverse and kind of moved in concert with Bitcoin there. We got XRP broke out of a symmetrical triangle we've been tracking. You can see it try to throw to the downside, since moved to the upside. So maybe the market, we'll see when we're done here, but it looks like the market potentially does have a bunch of a little bit more strength than anticipated. So pretty well established inverted head and shoulders here now in Bitcoin Cash. Neckline is right there. Looks like it's pretty well established this as a shoulder. And if the market gets good, maybe Bitcoin Cash can... Let's see where the target would be here in Bitcoin Cash. Let's say we break over there. We're looking at 747 bucks. So about $200, which is a pretty good 40%, 33% price increase from current price level. Now this is a target. It's not guaranteed to hit this. It's just a price target that's inferred with the inverted head and shoulders pattern. Walton Coin crushed it for us. Yeah, we were looking at Walton Coin too. I think that was one of the ones on our spreadsheet. Let me see if we had Walton Coin up here still, or if we took it. Nope. Actually, Walton Coin is one of the ones that was at the top of our spreadsheet. Yeah, awesome. You guys that trade the spreadsheet probably had a pretty good day. If you were in the market at that time, that's kind of how that works. So EOS was looking very, very weak here. It was starting to break this trend line. Huge volume candle down right there. Was consolidating, had a little H pattern, started to roll over, and then looks like it just reversed with the rest of the market. Now up almost 6% right now. So it also has a semblance of an inverted head and shoulders pattern. The neckline would be very strange right about here. Kind of a weird neckline in EOS there. So XLM really still in this channel, still in this wide ranging channel, chopping about. Not much to do here. Not much to do there at all right there. So Litecoin, we had this trend line here. Looks like now we probably going to end up with some kind of a rising wedge. It looks like a very early very early in the rising wedge, if it is even a rising wedge. But kind of looks like a head and shoulders, doesn't it? A little bit. Pretty mouse-shaped. That's not really good for a shoulder. This would be a better shoulder. Your neckline would be here. And if it gets any higher than this, that's going to be negated. But yeah, Litecoin has been a little weak lately. I will say that. It was rolling over, kind of had an H pattern here. It looks like it's kind of broken that H pattern here, which could be really good for longs going forward. Now, all these I have pegged against the US dollar, guys. So if you guys are charting Bitcoin, it's going to look a little bit different. Just keep that in mind. We also have top 20 Bitcoin, but we usually just go over the power hour spreadsheet after we do this kind of stuff. So Cardano, you can see right there, actually riding this trend line on the top of this trend line. It broke it there, riding, respecting the trend line, and then bouncing up here. So pretty interesting action. And volume here is actually more increased than the prior candle. That's pretty interesting too. So we need to see how we react up here if we take out these highs. Excuse me. Now, a lot of these are going to have very similar chart patterns. You see LTC has the pop-up. Bitcoin Cash has the pop-up. Bitcoin has the pop-up. They're all going to have this pop-up. And if we can get over these highs and continue, that would be very healthy for these markets for another leg up. So you can see Tron right there with the trend line coming out of a bear channel. Everything also had this bear channel. The whole market's kind of moving in the same direction all the time. Ethereum Classic looks like it tried to pop up from this trend line here. Very good volume. Maybe that can get going for Ethereum Classic. Don't know why I skipped over Monero, but there's Monero. Not looking as healthy as most coins, and it has been very lackluster in its price performance lately. So I wouldn't be surprised if Monero, you know, another thing with Monero, it's one of the ones that actually crossed a major trend line first. Crossed it way back here in May. Most of them didn't. Dash and Monero broke this long-term trend line very early. Very, very early. So that could be a bit of a sign of weakness, Monero being a coin from the golden days of crypto, if you can call it that. And not really showing a lot of strength here. So NEO on the daily, back at 18, towards the $19 level. We failed $20 here, rolled over. We had a cup with handle. Everything also had a cup with handle. It's been pretty interesting charting the past week. Interesting cup with handle, failed that, and it looks like it just jumped with the market here after kind of a sideways choppy consolidation. So Dash, pretty decent pop-up right there. Looks like there's a trend line right there that we haven't quite crossed yet. You can see it there. Not much to do in Dash. BNB looks like a bit of a reversal for BNB, a coin that was really not looking healthy at all. Bit of a reversal again. If we can get over these highs, I think all will probably be okay for the short term. You can see we stopped right at that prior high, barely poked above that. And looks like last on the list here is NEM before we get into... Oh no, we still got a few to go. Don't like NEM. ZEC, Zcash. Zcash? I always get this wrong. Zcash. You can see right there crossing a very long-term trend line after a higher low. Somehow this seems a little healthier than most. Don't ask me why, but I think the fact that it got so close to the low and then bounced kind of seems nicer to me. Omisego. Still under $4. Need to see a lot more strength in Omisego before it gets going. And we already talked about VET here, breaking out of this cup with handle pattern. Off to the races. Very good action. Hopefully we can get back above this high. This would be the last semblance of selling here before we get... I mean, it's not quite a blue sky breakout. We do have a lot of stuff up here, but your next major resistance point is way up here. Pretty much since we switched coins, right around this level from the 1930 up here to the 2050 level. And like I said, we also talked about Nano looking really good, possibly being buyable right up here as it sits right now, as a matter of fact. But you can see the wick there stopping just before the prior high. We'll see how that goes there. And then Ontology, we've already talked about that. So back to the chat, guys. Let's see what's going on. All right, VET moved. Oh, Ferris. Oh, thanks, my friend. Walton Coin chart-wise and Nano price targets. Yeah, let's check out Walton Coin. Sorry, it may have done that a little bit ago. I don't really get notifications of the super chats in real time. I don't really hawk the chat in another screen or something. Maybe I should do that. But I really appreciate the support, guys. That's fantastic. I really do appreciate that. All right, WTC. Where are you in this huge list that we track? We go through this list every single day, guys. We go through all these coins every single day, and we're always adding to the list. I shouldn't say always. Sometimes we do detract from the list, too. Sometimes it gets too aggressive. So Walton Coin actually has an inverted head and shoulders with a handle, and this is what we were looking at in the Power Hour spreadsheet right there. Right there. So beautiful inverted head and shoulders. We noticed it. And then right there, it was putting in this flag pattern, this downward descending channel, and then kind of off to the races right there. So your price target here is actually pretty aggressive. A very aggressive price target, about 31% higher from current point. This is at the 59.80 level. And that's just based and derived from this inverted head and shoulders pattern, which, as you guys know, can imply a price target, or I should say does imply a price target, and it is right there. So, Nano price target. Nano. That's a tough one. So, it's really difficult. Oh, thanks, Dan. Dan Massage. Interesting. Massage. I'll answer that question real quick. What percent do you give that the bottom is in? So here's the thing with Bitcoin in the bottom. Here's the thing with Bitcoin in the bottom and the whole, percentage chance thing. It's that low's been respected now a number of times. And while, we are pretty much setting up in a bear flag, I got to give it between 30 and 40% that the bottom is in. Okay? I mean, it very rarely do you look at something and say this is 100% or 90 or 80%. You're usually like 30% sure or 70% sure. That's kind of the way it goes. Anytime I think you're more certain than that about something, you either have an extreme knowledge about the situation, and this is an unknowable variable, the Bitcoin bottom. It's literally unknowable. There's nothing you can do or say that you can know that the bottom is in. Like, it's impossible. Okay, now you can do analysis and you can have a good hypothesis, but I don't think you can be more than 50% sure. I just think it's kind of one of those things. All right, Aviad, cool. I'll reply to that in kind. Thank you, sir. Part of signing up for the Power Hour, Aviad will be going to my services page there, actually going through the process to sign up, and then you sign up here, and then the next screen takes you to the PayPal for payment. Just don't pay, and this will get you in the system, and then I can manually enter you. All right. So if you want to go ahead and do that at some point in time, that'd be great. But yeah, so I give us about a between 30 and 35% chance that we've actually set the bottom in. And going back on Nano in terms of a price target, so there's a couple things going in Nano. Nice cup with handle right there. Beautiful breakout. Man, I don't know. If you take a measured move out of this, it's going to get pretty high. And I don't know where I want to take the measured move from. So taking a measured move in this scenario coming off of a spike low is always dangerous, because if you try to be very aggressive and do this, if you try to be very aggressive and do that, then you get something that's very aggressive. And you end up potentially holding into a bias in a price target that may not necessarily be hit. All right, so it may not necessarily be hit there. There's quite a bit of resistance up here. You've got a big resistance level there, right about where my cursor is, 3,600 or so, 3,625. And yeah, Christina, go ahead. So you can go ahead and expect potential resistance here, and it's not going to be a straight shot up. Obviously, there's going to be pitfalls, and it's going to move up, just like this moved down and it wasn't straight down. But potentially you get a price target up here of 4810, 4800, something like that. And that's I think the most aggressive price target. But I typically don't do targets in this situation because I don't think you can imply one. Really, you have to go with price action, what the price action is telling you to do. And that's one thing that we do go over quite a bit is price action, because that's really the best thing to keep you in and get you out of coins at a profitable level is the price action. And another part is actually being there in the moment, because it's very difficult to set a limit order on future price action, because future price action doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. That's like crystal ball type stuff. You might as well go down to your fortune teller and say, here's a chart. Where do you think it's going to top? All right, guys. Ooh, Christina looking at a short? Christina with a Forex question. Interesting. Are you getting into Forex, Christina? Let's go to USD. Well, Euro FX US dollar. So Forex is a different animal. You really have to be careful with Forex because it's extremely highly leveraged. Also, the brokers really like to mess with your accounts. Okay, the brokers just... So there's something called a spread. You guys know it in Bitcoin. There's the bid, there's the ask. The difference is the spread. With most typical Forex brokers that you're going to find online that, you deposit your $100 and you start trading, what they're going to do is they're going to make you buy at the ask and sell at the bid. All right, and what that means is you're paying the spread, and that is your commission. That's your commission. It's like free trading, but you pay that spread, and or it's next to free trading, and you pay the spread. And then after that, if when you go to sell, you're going to pay the bid, and so you have to make sure you at least have profit on the spread. So it's kind of a weird thing there, and your executions aren't always the best. So kind of one of those situations. So inverted head and shoulders here, that looks like it's already played out. Looks like that's done already. So right now what you have, let's take a peek. Let's go to the daily, because this is a currency. Long-term trends matter a whole lot. Okay, so head and shoulders. I say inverted so much. So head and shoulders pattern here, fairly well defined as well. We spiked lower, and now we're throwing back into it. So I think we could end up, this is a 50-50 scenario here. We could throw it back, but a break above this level here, which is the right side of the shoulder, would be a long signal. If you want to consider a break of this neckline a bullish signal, you're probably okay for an entry right here. The volume's pretty good. You can see right there, volume is pretty high. Maintained high levels for a while there. And what's up, Eli? How you doing, buddy? Isn't it your bedtime? I think it's Eli's bedtime. But glad you're here. Thanks for joining. So yeah, there's a little bear flag, broke down, reversed immediately. Yeah, so it's an interesting scenario right now. It did try to break down, throwing up into it. Not quite sure what it's going to do. So a failure of the neckline would be a short, and then a buy above this, 18.512 level. That would be a long position right there. I don't really have hoping for a bedtime story. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Not quite sure what to infer of this overall, because you have very good selling volume, then an immediate reversal. A failure to get over this high is pretty bearish, to be quite honest with you. If we don't get above this one, because volume's kind of starting to decelerate here, even though price action's pretty good. It's a decelerating volume situation. So the prior trend should remain intact, which is this downtrend. And then if that's the case, then this would be a good place to short. But this is also really good volume, so you're really kind of in one of those weird situations. Like if you draw these trend lines, you're almost right in the middle. So you're at a 50-50 risk reward here. If it fails here, you're going down. If it goes above here, you're going higher, and you're dead in the middle of that. That's very difficult to take a trade in. Oh, Ben, you got to take a shot off a wind moon. Is that what you're... You got to take a shot, Ben. Short out of the big head and shoulder, then I went long on the mini inverse head and shoulder. Now I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so just step aside, Christina, to be quite honest with you. And it is a whipsaw situation. That's what it is. It broke down on great volume. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that volume. And then an immediate reversal throws a big question into things. Ben bought in at 59.50. Should you just take profits? Let's go check it out. Let's go to the 15-minute and see what we're looking like on the smaller term time frames. So pretty big wicks right there. Let's see what bars are. Oh, you can't compile my bars are? Which script is that? I was going to throw my bars are up. No one's going to want to watch me code. Well, you know what I could do here? Hold on a second. I think it was... I was playing with low volume. I'll just comment that out again. There we go. Let's see what Barzar has to say on the this lower term time frame. So this is the 1 minute, keep in mind there. So pretty good buying all the way up through here, you can see. So for most of you are uninitiated to my Barzar, this is an indicator that I created just to kind of give you a little bit of information. Most of my analysis is price and action, and you can infer price and action via each individual bar, believe it or not. And so that's kind of how I roll. And so I built a little indicator here. So all the green is buying, all the red is selling. It's just a cheap and easy way. You see all the buying throughout this level here. And then with this topping candle, you can see, looks like it's been a mixture between buying and selling much more often. So we have 2 sells, and then these wash, these wash, these wash, 3 sells, these wash. So the majority here has been to the sell side. Now that isn't a telltale signal, you know, that you need to get short or anything like that. Not at all. It's just kind of a bit of a strength type of a situation. We also have a little flat spot right here at 67.40, and if it gets above 67.40, you probably have a nice little run. You guys have seen these before, especially you guys in the power hour. We look for these little flat signals. They're very powerful. You know, price curling up right here is bullish, and so potentially expecting it to go higher. Could be a low risk. Well, I guess it's low risk in both situations. Going long, you don't risk a whole lot, but going short, you also don't risk a whole lot because your stop is right here, just above there, and it looks like it's starting to poke its head through. Bullish engulfing bar, as a matter of fact, that's what that bull means. It's a bullish engulfing bar. An engulfing bar is when the low is lower than the previous low and the high is higher than the previous high. So you can see right there, that's a bullish engulfing candle. There's a buying candle. There's a selling candle. Buying, buying, selling. So you can see the mixture. You can see the mixture right there. But yeah, so far, I mean, it's getting pretty close, and it may just want to poke up here pretty soon. Maybe it has another little round left in it. But no, I wouldn't blanket short here, Cool Frost. This is kind of like what we talked about, you know, blanket shorting or blanket going long over here. Remember that when we did that after we had that first kind of higher volume situation down here? I think it was here and here. We've talked about it. Anytime you get these big pops, you never go long or short right away because there's always a consolidation. I mean, in the vast majority of these instances, when you've had these big drops or these big pops, they've always immediately consolidated. It was very rarely was it ever a trend. So you can see here we consolidated for about 8 hours. Here we consolidated for about a half a day. This one did reverse, but this isn't one of those huge pops. This is one of those huge pops. This is one of those huge pops. And all these get consolidated. You see them all over the place. Flux asks, can BitMEX and Bitfinex never allow Bitcoin to fall below $57.50 level just by manipulation for however they want to, short squeezing at 6,000? So they can, Fluxmaster. You know what? It's their platform. Just like if you want to turn off your computer or stop it from running a program, you can do that. There is a potential for that. Um, and if that ever happened, I probably would leave the crypto markets because that is not a free market. These markets don't work well in those situations. I mean, if you think about it, they could arbitrarily, you know, buy all these sells in Bitcoin, and and no one really would be the wiser. I mean, I'm sure they could figure out ways to, Ponzi scheme the whole thing, roll money into the withdrawals. As long as more money is coming in the deposits, you can send money to the withdrawals from the deposit money. That's essentially a Ponzi scheme. They would have to be running a Ponzi scheme to do that. At one point in time, the withdrawals would just lock up. They would run out of BTC. Hasn't happened so far. Same with a lot of the other currency exchanges. Excuse me. But I'm not really worried about that. You have to trust the exchanges, otherwise these markets just don't function. Good night, Eli. See you, buddy. Eli thinks small run to 7K. Yeah, could be, could be. And if it's still within this channel, then it's pretty still a pretty healthy bear. It's still a bear flag. It's still a bear flag. You can make money in a bear flag. You can make money in any kind of markets, all kinds of markets. Nice 2% gain in Nano. So did you go long here when I was just talking about it a minute ago? Yeah, oh yeah, there you go. Yep, we mentioned that a little bit ago, guys. Nano looking like it was buyable, right? There was a little pullback it was having right there, and that's perfect. That's a great little buy. That's great. That's what we do. Good job there, Pete. Mary asks, buy or sell? Well, I'm going to answer that with a question, and the question is, what's your time frame? Are you going to trade it for an hour, for a day, for a week, for a month, for a year? That's the more important question than buy or sell. By leaps and bounds, as a matter of fact. So VET is looking great, Pierre. It's a little extended, I think, to be buying up here. So here's the 2-hour chart we look at over here at Real Crypto most of the time. And you can see we've had this cup with handle drawn for a couple of days now. We had the cup here, it paused, and now we have the handle. So that's a cup with handle pattern. It's a bullish continuation pattern. Comes out of a prior uptrend. This is a very well formed one. Like I said, guys, almost a high quality chart pattern for those of you in the power hour that do follow the spreadsheet. This was almost a high quality chart pattern. Same with Nano, almost a high quality chart pattern. The only thing stopping it from being so is the fact that the market is in a bear market. It's the only thing stopping these. But these are very, very well formed chart patterns, and it's a continuation. And so right now you're in a situation. Sorry, wrong thing there. So we're up about 10%. It's a little extended to get involved. You run the risk of a throwback, but it's already thrown back several times, and hopefully it stops throwing back and we can just get a nice run out of it. But Nano right now looking a little bit stronger as of late. It's going pretty good right there. Probably still buyable. You're up about 4.5%. That's still within a buy range. And keep in mind it can throw back at any moment in time. That's why you don't want to go long anything up over 10, 15%. I mean maximum. I would never get in a coin up 15%. It's just too risky. But Nano kind of still there within the buy range. Definitely could still buy it. And our Pete just made $2 during the extreme stream here. Extreme stream. So there you go. To hold but want to get in and make the most if of your investment there. So yeah, that really, so holding and make the most of your investment sounds like you have conflicting goals. You should really figure that out before you put too much money to work. You should know what your strategy is. Bought Nano 4 days ago. You 34x Nano? Bought it for 12.20. Not on Binance, it looks like. Oh, 4 days ago. 12,320 sats. I'm looking at Nano Bitcoin. Is that a fat finger, Ferris? Are those numbers correct? Oh, you want to buy, but want to buy at the lowest you can, Mary? Okay, gotcha. So, it's an interesting situation. My job isn't to buy at the lowest possible price. My job is to keep my money safe, and in order to do that, I pretty much put money at risk when I expect a return, not when it feels low or I think it's low. All right, that's really what we do. And so Bitcoin does not have a confirmed uptrend yet, so I really can't say that it's safe. Now, is it at a low level? It seems low comparative to history, but going forward, without us confirming a bull market, we really run the risk of moving lower than that 5,800 level. That card is not been played yet, and it is also not discarded. It's still in your hand, and it can be played at any time. Well, either way, Ferris, good job on your trade there. Bought it 4 days ago, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So down here it looks like. Yeah, good trade. Very good. Keep it going. Oh, you got VET, Juha? Awesome. That's fantastic. You got an 8? Oh, wow. Good buy. Very, very good. You're going to get some more too, probably. I'll just keep holding on to that thing. That's fantastic. Good job, guys. I love these success stories, guys. Keep these coming. If you guys make a good trade, I mean, talk about it. Tell you what made you buy, tell you, all that stuff. But that's fantastic. Good job. Good job. So see Bitcoin curled up and moved out of that level. Yes, it did. It broke that little trend line that we just discussed. That little horizontal trend line right there. Beautiful right there. Beautiful little pop. Definitely may just continue going higher. Definitely run easily up to the 6,900 level. Right up here with these. So that'd give you $150, which for Bitcoin isn't a whole lot. Not really quite a whole lot. Yeah, really, it's kind of yeah, $150. Man, it's crazy when $150 is a decent move in Bitcoin. Remember, we used to have $1,000 nights back in the day. That was fun. This is nothing. This is nothing. But yeah, so this is a real move. It can be sustained. Looks like it's bull flagging out here on the longer term time frame. So you kind of have to give it some time, kind of have to let it go. And if you want to short it, I would short it much higher. But if we bull flag out here with a very nice consolidation and continue higher, there is a possibility that that we can have already bottomed. There's a possibility of that, but we still have kind of a series of lower lows here. This being another higher low, kind of a midterm level. And like I said, we can throw back into the 7250 level without harming the bear market whatsoever. But I think breaking this level probably will harm the bear market generally. That's kind of how I feel about that. Oh wow, 100% from the lows. It goes to 11,227. Do you think EID? Is that EID or ELD? Can bring up more buyers because it's the Christmas for Muslim countries. I'm not sure what you're referring to be honest with you. Is that a Muslim holiday? The topping candle in the shorter time frames there, Paul? Which shorter time frame? Like, you mean this one? Yeah, Paul, give me a time frame and I can better look at that. Oh, 15 minutes. Okay. Look at that. Ask and you shall receive. So we have the run up and the sell off and a further sell off which stopped the move. All that is normal. Okay. Now throughout this entire market run, we've had these big wicks in both directions. The market has stopped pretty much 90% of the time, 95% of the time, and reversed. That has been a resistance level going forward. I would maintain that being a resistance level. Does it concern me? Yes, it does concern me. What concerns me more, to be quite frank with you, is that it's just respecting this trend line. Like, we already had this. This is the same trend line we drew in the power hour, and I just dragged it up here, and it's still respecting that. And if you go back to the daily chart, looks pretty ominously like a bear flag, doesn't it? So it looks a lot like a bear flag. We've seen similar ones in the past. That's what concerns me. I do not log my chart, Kevin. I did have a couple questions up here I think I kind of missed, got caught up in. How come a lot of these alts such as ETH, which was at 305, and NEO, which was at 20, and Bitcoin was at 64, not above those levels? Well, you know, Bitcoin kind of moves in its own market cycle, Pete, and the rest of the altcoins kind of move as the altcoins move. So the difference is they just trade differently. They trade, you know, they can trade in lockstep sometimes. They kind of traded inversely correlated here. You know, Bitcoin was kind of sideways, had a big run in the alts, had a big drop in the alts, and it was just kind of one of those things. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna get going in a minute. I'm fading pretty quick here. I'm getting pretty tired. Stephen White asks, Bitcoin shorts at all-time high. What are your thoughts on a possible short squeeze? Well, that's the catalyst here for higher prices is the short squeeze. Other than that, there's not a lot of huge technical reasons for us to go higher down here. In terms of holidays, though, Spook Boom, I don't think I'm. I don't think no one's gonna be buying, you know, Bitcoin for holidays. No one talked about ETC, why it did not really move like Bitcoin Cash when it went on Coinbase. Any ideas? Well, first of all, it's a bear market versus we were in a bull market the last time. And also, Coinbase really screwed up the Bitcoin Cash thing. I'm sure some people lost a fortune when it started trading on Coinbase and GDAX at the time. So I'm pretty sure they made this run a lot more smoothly. But the main thing is the market cycles just it flipped on its head. That's the main reason why. So you really can't compare the two ICOs. This was actually when the news came out, and this is when we said to sell it right there. Like literally, I marked it right. Someone mentioned, "Oh, Coinbase just announced that they're trading Ethereum Classic now," and I said, "Okay, sell everything you have of Ethereum Classic," and that's when we said it. So. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for joining me today, Ferris. I appreciate your support, my friend. Really do. If you guys do like the analysis I do, we do this every single day and then some in the Real Crypto Power Hour where we cover the top 20 USD altcoins and go through our Power Hour spreadsheet, which you do have access to. You can take that even when the Power Hour is not live. You have access to the spreadsheet and the notes from the day. So if you're interested, please go ahead and go to my website, go to services, click on the cool little button, and then sign up. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the Power Hour. And see you guys next time. Stay safe.